like to start just by covering a few of your career highlights. You have certainly been known as, as a player, you're one of the best in all of Asia and certainly the best in Japan for the past decade. You know, for you, I think, let's just talk about your highlights. You've participated and played in 3 World Cups, 2010, 2014, 2018. You played with AC Milan from 2014 to 2017. And you also were a member of the Japanese team that won the Asia Cup. So incredibly impressive.
Thank you. Yeah.
Why don't we just start, I'm curious, how did you first start playing?
I was playing since I was conscious. I have an old brother, and we started playing soccer because my father, gave us the opportunities. Yeah, I think it was, I don't know, 3 or 4 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And then how old were you when you turned pro?
Say again?
How old were you when you turned and started playing professionally?
18. 18 years old, yeah.
And what moments from when you started playing professionally stand out as the moments that you're most proud of?
My dream was to play World Cup and score the goal and become a champion. So unfortunately, I couldn't make it as a player to become a champion World Cup. But when I played and when I scored the goal, World Cup was one of my dream come true.
That's amazing. Which World Cup was this?
2010.
It's amazing. So your first World Cup.
Yes.
Impressive.
Yeah, that's great.
That's great. Well, I think if we think about the U.S., some of the biggest and best athletes, have taken that drive and determination that they see on the field, on the court, and they've translated that to successful careers in business. If you think about Shaquille O'Neal, Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, one that you definitely know, David Beckham.
Yeah.
All of these people have found ways to make their careers successful after they're done playing. And I think you're on a similar trajectory when you think about what you're doing. You're paving the path for venture capital in Japan. How did you first start getting into investing? From what I understand, you actually started while you were still playing, right?
Yeah. So that's also, I have to go back to the 2010 World Cup South Africa. So Japan team visited the orphanage, and so the kids, I heard they're going to be criminal, or maybe they will be die as a AIDS.
Oh, wow.
And I was shocked, and I wanted to help them somehow, even while I playing a professional soccer player. I wasn't supposed to do this like a venture capital stuff, but no one knows for the future. I just coincidentally started learning capitalism and venture capital, and started investing in these tech startups.
It's amazing. And why don't, just to give the audience an overview, give me a little bit of a background on 𝐻𝐢𝐬𝐿, your fund, and the business model.
Yeah, again, coincidentally, I started investing startups. 2016, I just want to learn many industries, and when I get deal, I learn industries, and I invested small checks. I realized that if celebrities or influence people invest into startups, you have a lot of benefits, which means the people wanted me to invest in them. I can get great term more than other investors. Sometimes if I can help them marketing side and PR side, they gave me stock options
Amazing.
instead of cash.
Right.
So I think that, when I started investing startups, I didn't do for just the return, but I realized that, I have huge benefit if I, do this investment seriously. And, I wanted to try to do the same things in the US. Luckily, my partner, set up meeting with Will Smith, and we launched the Dreamers Fund 2018. And also, I think it happened the same things in the U.S. So Will it has big name in the U.S. and everyone wanted him to invest in the great founders. So we had a huge advantage of those things. So that's why we are our I think portfolios are great last 5 years. We have invested in 96 companies in the U.S. last 5 years, but I think it's great. We have already track records, and I'm proud of that.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. I think what's interesting too about what you're doing, and this relates to the Kishida administration. From what I understand, they have a 5-year roadmap that's advantageous for Japanese startups. Do you want to share a little bit more about that?
Yeah. So macro-wise, I think Japanese government finally became serious. Maybe too late, or I maybe not too late. They want to increase investment amount 10 times in 5 years.
Wow.
I think current investment amount 5 billion and 6 billion, and they want to increase 10 times in 5 years. That's it's too huge, right? So what they want is to create as many unicorns as possible in next 5-10 years. And also they realize that the big traditional Japanese companies, when they acquire Japanese startups, they also get stronger company again. So that means if government support startup ecosystem, which can become a unicorns, or who cannot become unicorns and be acquired by the traditional companies in Japan, either way, either is fine for Japanese government. So this is the behind why we now launching Japan Fund. It's called 𝐻𝐸𝐿. I think macro-wise is very important for us. Otherwise, last 20 years, Japan is too domestic.
Right.
And we have larger market size than population than in South Korea, but South Korea has double unicorns than Japan. So yeah, I think we have to reflect somehow. We have to change this situation, and I wanna solve this two domestic things next 5-10 years.
That's amazing. I mean, South Korea, the US, traditionally the venture capital market is incredibly competitive. Are you seeing with this initiative in Japan that it's a competitive industry in Japan, or do you feel like you're trailblazing the investment opportunities in the venture space?
Yeah, so I think that's the strategies how to invest into the Japanese startups, and we have three strategies, and first, time machine business.
Time machine business, yes.
Time
I love this phrase. Do you have a few examples of what that looks like for the fund?
Yeah, so my first exit, it's called Makuake. It's a crowdfunding platform in Japan. my partner and I learned Kickstarter in the US that time, 2016. And we already have two platforms. It's Campfire and Makuake. And I know the parent company of the Makuake, so I called the founders and hey, let me invest into the companies. I think the crowdfunding platform is going to be big in Japan too, like Kickstarter. And just he let me in like just 1 million valuation.
Wow.
And so that's the kind of story. Time Machine is huge in Japan. I don't know how much you know about Japanese culture. I think our weakness is to make innovation. We have a huge innovation for sure. I should be proud of that. But on the other hand, I think we are, not so good to create new. We are always look at U.S. and Europe, and bring their culture and the best things to Japan, and reproduce better.
Right.
That's our strength. So that's why this time machine business is valuable and important for us, how to invest Japanese startups. And of course, they have to localize to Japan, modify some business model from US to Japan. But I think it's
I think it's a great way to think about it. I think other examples were Shopify, taking what the success of Shopify in the U.S., Bird, the scooter company.
Yeah.
What other themes are you seeing, whether it's localized to Japan or just more broadly in Asia, in terms of investment opportunities, new companies?
Yeah, so I also have invested like Bird in Japan, and also Shopify in Japan. It's called AnyMind and Loop.
Right.
They are doing great, and so that's also one of the examples. And I think the time machine business is huge in Japan.
That's great. We were talking backstage a little bit about things that were unique to Japan, investments in anime, something that's not as prevalent in the US. What are some of those other themes and opportunities that you think are unique that others may not see?
Yeah, so like anime IP business is also very strong. It's called AnyColor. It's a VTuber services, and these kind of business model is, I think Japan can make innovation, and we want to make it internal in Japan, and we want to expand global. So these things, our mission, 𝐻𝐿 is to help Japanese founder to expand their business globally, which current 20, 30 years VC and startup ecosystem couldn't do that. As I said, Japanese startup ecosystem has been too domestic. Under my experience, Japan and the US last 7 years, I think we can achieve this mission to help Japanese founders.
Definitely.
Yeah, so I think we can say we are the internal global VC in Japan.
It's amazing. Do you feel like you have a secret sauce or something that you look for in terms of traits and founders of companies that you're exploring for opportunities?
I'm not sure this is the secret, but as I said, we have 3 strategies, and the second is serial entrepreneurs. I think they are underestimated, but they already know a lot of failures, also success, and they're hungry for next success. They want to make it for the bigger companies. That's really good for us and other investors. So I'm focusing like time machine business and the serial entrepreneurs. And third, this is maybe secret, but advantage. Maybe I can say advantage investment. I just mentioned I can get stock option,
Right.
or I can get great term more than other investors if we can help them a marketing side. Especially I'm strong consumer startups. So I think this third strategy is a good one and only the one we have and others don't have it.
Definitely. I mean, certainly in your situation too. Let's talk a little bit about fame, being famous. How does that influence or give you an advantage when it comes to sourcing opportunities? I know you mentioned Will Smith in the earlier fund, but how do you think about that?
I wasn't supposed to do this, right? Luckily, everyone wanted me to invest in them in Japan. I have a huge advantage. And Japanese culture, athletes and celebrities, they don't do other business.
Interesting.
The people don't want famous people to make money. This is our traditional culture.
Right, right.
They don't like someone go to far away. They pull their legs, go down, and they want to go progress together. So I'm not like that, and I don't care criticize. And while even I was criticized the AC Milan in Milano when I was playing AC Milan, I already started investing in this space. So I didn't care. But most of Japanese, my friends, soccer player and other athletes and these other celebrities don't want to do that. So I told them you should do that because everyone wants you to invest in them and you get great deal more than other VCs. So you should start at least like angel investment or something, but they don't do that.
Interesting. So you spend a lot of time convincing people and kind of facing more adversity than I would otherwise expect. It's actually quite different than what you see in the US with celebrities or athletes who've done similar things.
Luckily.
Yeah.
And only the few people who invested in this space.
Trailblazer. On the topic of being an athlete, I find it fascinating when you look at the successful athletes who have transitioned to business. I think there's definitely something there when it comes to work ethic, curiosity, teamwork, being part of a team. Do you feel that in terms of how you approach problem solving and building a business?
Yes. So when I manage my team, also when I talk to the founders, investments, mentality-wise, like spirits, how to drive difficulties. I think that's really, how do you say, I can bring those things to the business side. Especially like I wanted to be number one soccer player. If I do something, I just want to be number one. So now in this space, I'm aiming to be number one. So this mentality is, I think, very important.
Definitely.
Yeah.
No, I think so. I think we were talking backstage a little bit about how, it's that fine balance between being a part of a team but still having ego because you need to have confidence to succeed.
Yeah.
Yeah. What would you say was the biggest challenge that you've had to overcome so far in building your business, whether it was with the prior fund or with 𝐻𝐸𝐿 and Cascade?
Yeah. So, of course, sports is soccer is like kind of much more simple than business. Yeah, if you score the goal, you can win, right?
Right.
Just in 90 minutes. But business is more long term, and you have to build your team. You have to communicate with the founders and other people. More like I would say like political things. So these things are sometimes annoying, of course. But again, if I want to be number one, I have to do everything,
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
More than others. So these, difficult things is still for me. Sometimes it taking time to understand, but I've learned a lot about that.
Definitely. It takes a lot of determination. What's next for you? I've heard you also coach, I believe, or management of teams has been an option. Expanding, traveling. What's next for you on your agenda? What are you looking to?
Yeah, so through the 𝐻𝐸𝐿 we want to be number one VC in Japan. Obviously, there are many good VCs, but I want to compete with them, and also we want to cooperate with them together as well. But we want to be number one in 5 years, 10 years. On the other hand, I couldn't become a champion of World Cup as a soccer player, and now I want to become a champion as a coach.
It's amazing.
I used to be a coach Cambodian national team since 2018 till this May. I just finished the contract. If I get any opportunities from any countries, I will consider become a coach.
That's amazing. And certainly, again, the translation between coaching, owning a business, building a business, you can see the synergies there.
Yeah, that's the huge, and that's the most of people cannot understand. Everyone asks me how to manage the time.
Right.
But, if I play good, if I manage and win the game, always the investment side also going well because I'm advertising my investments as my name, So that's the very strong, synergy.
Definitely. Now, a perfect example to close on. Thank you so much for being here. I'd love to have you. We hopefully will see you in Miami as well.
Oh, yeah.
At our next iConnections
Yeah.
event. But thank you, everyone.
Thank you.